There was a young man named Suri who was burdened with regret and shame. He had made poor decisions in his life. He had hurt others with his anger, wasted his days in idleness, and neglected those who loved him. His failures weighed heavily on him, and he believed he was unworthy of forgiveness or love. One day, overwhelmed by despair, Suri wandered to a quiet pond at the edge of the village. There, he sat down and wept, lamenting his life. An old monk happened to be passing by and saw the young man in tears. The monk approached and asked, "Why do you cry, young one?" Suri replied, "Master, I am worthless. My life has been nothing but mistakes and suffering. I have no purpose, no value. What use am I to anyone?" The monk listened silently and then gestured toward the pond. "Do you see that lotus flower?" Suri nodded, noticing a bright pink lotus blooming atop the murky water. The monk continued, "Suri, that flower grows from mud. Its roots are deep in the muck, yet it rises above the water, untouched by the dirt. Would you say the mud makes the lotus flower less beautiful or less worthy?" Suri shook his head. "No, the flower is still beautiful, no matter where it came from." The monk smiled and said, "And so it is with you, Suri. Your mistakes and struggles are the mud. They may be unpleasant, but they are also the soil from which you can grow. Your worth, like the lotus, does not come from the mud, but from the truth of what you are, a being capable of wisdom, compassion, and transformation." Suri sat in silence, reflecting on the monk's words. For the first time in life, he felt a small spark of hope. Perhaps his failures did not define him after all. From that day forward, Suri began to make small, mindful changes in his life. He worked to mend his relationships, sought forgiveness where he could, and treated himself with kindness. And though it took time, he came to understand that his worth had never been diminished. It had only been hidden, waiting for him to see it, like the lotus rising from the mud. You see, your worth is not defined by your failures or struggles, but your inherent potential to grow and transform. Just as the lotus rises from the mud, your mistakes and hardships can serve as the foundation for growth, not proof of your inadequacy. Feeling worthless after successive failures is natural, but wisdom reminds us that these challenges do not diminish your value. Instead, they are opportunities to learn, to cultivate compassion for yourselves, and to rise stronger, because your worth, like the lotus, is intrinsic and unchanging. Believe in yourself and rise above your failures. Thank you so much for joining Buddha Sunshine, and stay blessed.